A plan to ask voters in West Austin for money to improve protection from wildfires is now on hold.
Travis County's Water District number 10 decided not to put a $53 million bond on the November ballot. The money would have paid for new pipes and pumping stations to increase how much water fire hydrants provide in places like Westlake Hills and Rob Roy. But as KXAN's David Yeoman shows us, the need is still there.
Now, the problem is that some fire hydrants in West Austin, like this one denoted by a faded red color, just can't pump as much water as firefighters would like them to. Now, this leads to big concerns if there were a bad fire in this part of town. Wildfire experts rank parts of West Austin as one of the highest risk areas in the country for a devastating fire. Housing developments nestled in dry vegetation and steep hills and valleys make fighting fires more difficult in this area. On top of that, firefighters say that outdated hydrants make the people who live here even more vulnerable.
The low flow is actually insufficient to be able to supply some of that larger equipment that we may need to protect the rest of the community by suppressing that one fire.
I'm someone who has extra fire alarms scattered throughout my children's rooms and house. So I hate to think that if a fire did go off, they couldn't do anything about it.
We're in West Austin. David Yeomans, KXAN News.
The Water District 10 board decided against a proposed $53 million bond to improve the water system. Board President Cliff Drummond said that plan was too expensive for taxpayers in the district. Drummond told us that the board will now look to put a more affordable proposal before voters by May of next year. The state requires fire hydrants to pump a minimum of 250 gallons per minute. But that's not enough pressure to effectively fight a wildfire. So the goal is to make all hydrants in the area around Westlake Hills able to pump 2,000 gallons per minute. To give you some perspective of the difference, a hose pumping 2,000 gallons per minute could fill the Olympic-sized swimming pool at UT in just over 7 hours. A hose pumping the state minimum would take more than 2 days to fill UT's pool.